Okay, so we're going to build the presentation booth, and there's a couple of things to remember. There's one booth grid, there are 2 feet for the grid, there are 6 side panels, and there are 12 magnetic strips. In the box, there is the instructions. The instructions will give you an idea of the order in which to build. Frame, feet, magnetic, and then the side panels, and then the artwork, or the art panels. In this case, they're blue. In our case, we're going to be using Adelphi communications panels, which are probably not the ones you're going to use, but you'll get the idea. Travels in this black case. It will have the shipping label on it there, and it attaches by 4 little clamps like that. Okay. So this is the booth. You'll notice it's square. It's got round feet on one end. Well, on one end. So when this opens up, this is the bottom. When it opens up, you'll notice there is, well, maybe you won't, there's an X on this one. This one and the one next to it are the 2 that get the lights, and this is the back of the booth. Okay? I did write front on the front of the booth, but you can't see that till it's up. When you expand this, feet down, pull the thing up, it becomes a booth. Here's my X, so that's the back. And just like that, we have a booth. And we do have to put the feet on it, the sides on it to make it actually stable. That's the basic structure. Okay, on each side, there's some, what we have to do is put the foot on the edge, and first we have to put the magnetic strip that's going to be behind the leg. So first, notch in the magnetic strip. And then pick up the feet, squeeze them together so they fit in here. The little tab goes underneath the crossbar, and then the square piece goes inside the leg. And that makes this very stable. Okay, so we're going to do this a little more close up. So the magnetic strip slides into the notch on the bottom. And then here, you may need to squeeze the frame together so that it fits, and then it's snug. It's good. And then this notch goes over top of this, and then squeezes in to fit it. That's it. That's the foot on and the first magnetic strip. Okay, so I'm going to put the other 2 magnetic strips on this side and then start to put the side panels on. So this magnetic strip is already attached here. At the top of this square is another slot for the next magnetic strip to go in. And it will slide right into the slot and clip in just like that. So these just notch in the little slot, and just make sure they go in snug, because that keeps the frame the way you want it. The top ones are always a little tricky. There we go. Now the side panels look like that. One side's open, that's the bottom, and then one side has this, and that's the top. So the first one rests on the foot that we already put on, and then the hook on the side goes on top of the little cross piece, and then it snugs down so it's all even. And it takes up half of the magnetic strip, and it goes like that. Now this one came back from the last show with a broken top, but the top does sit on well enough. So this one goes in the middle. And it goes over top. Squeeze in. And when this is nice and that's good, just make sure this sits the way it's supposed to on there, and then put the top one on to secure it. This one's a little broken too, but that's okay. And that's one side done. So here on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put 2 more magnetic strips on and put in the sides. Right into the slot. Squeeze it together if you need to. Good. This one. The last one I always put the top in first, so I can see what I'm doing down here. And that did pretty good. And then we want to put the side pieces on. Bottom, open bottom, hook top. And just make. So the side panel, there's the first side panel in. This one will sit just in like that, and it will go over top of the panel. So the edges have to squeeze in to go on the inside, and then the hook needs to go over top of this, and then the bottom snugged in. There's a line that runs right down the middle here that the side will cover, and then the magnetic strip from the panel. Make sure you squeeze the frame to fit inside the side panel, and then hook on the next piece. Good. Alright, that's it. So now after we have those done, we have 6 more magnetic strips that go along the verticals to hold the panels in place. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's all the pieces, all the magnetic pieces, side pieces, feet. The only things we have left are the lights and the panels themselves. And the lights are the trickiest because they are at the top. But let's see if we can get that done. Okay. Each light on the base has a hook that lets it lock in to the top of the booth and not fall. So we're going to get these put up here. Now if you remember, right here is where it says front, and the one I showed you at the beginning that has an X is this one here. So the lights are going to go. So the notch on the bottom of the light goes into the notch on the top of the pole, and then it rocks down into place, being held in place. Sticking over the front and notching into the top here. And that's it. The plugs are here, they're all attached to power. So the lights plug in, the tails coming off the top of the lights attached to these. They just plug in like a regular computer power pack. The other ends plug into this power strip, which as you can see is British. These are British, this is British, and on the end of this British thing we have an adapter to plug it into an American outlet. Okay? Yes, it's a little bent. That's the way it goes. So these do hang far enough that you can just slide these in. And they'll be nice and snug. Okay? And then the booth will be handed power. I'm going to hang the first panel here. It clips onto the top with little plastic triangles and then hangs down, and the magnets hold it in place. It is always best to check to make sure you have the proper panel. So there are little plastic triangles that fit into notches at the top of the display. Okay, so here's the first panel. There is a diamond hook on this tier, but not on the first one. So we hook it on, line it up. Okay, that's one.